Hello and welcome to this Friday's episode of Sports Corner. I'm Cole Young, and for just the second time in NFL history, the Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Before I get to that, this week marks the 3-year anniversary of this show, so thanks for sticking with me over the past 3 years. With that said, now it's time for the Super Bowl recap. I'm sure I speak for most, if not all fans when I say this, but that was one of the most surprising Super Bowls of all time. Going for the unprecedented three-peat, the Kansas City Chiefs came into this game with just 2 losses on the season, and it seemed as though everything was going their way. They entered the Super Bowl as just slight favorites, but the Eagles' defense and run game were going to prove to be a difficult task for the Chiefs to overcome. After each team swapped punts to start the game, the Eagles got on the board first. Jahan Dotson caught a beautiful deep ball by Jalen Hurts, coming up just shy of the end zone on the 1-yard line. Hurts would, unsurprisingly, punch in the score on the tush push, and Philly was up 7-0 in the first quarter. A few plays later, Hurts threw an interception at the start of the second quarter, giving the Chiefs some life. But the Chiefs could not overcome the field position and were forced to punt again following a 3-and-out. After another field goal by the Eagles, the play of the game then turned the tide. Patrick Mahomes let a pass fly intended for DeAndre Hopkins, but it was intercepted by rookie corner Cooper DeJean. DeJean took off down the sideline, breaking tackles, and finding the end zone for a pick six. This was his first career interception and did it in the Super Bowl for a touchdown on the day of his 22nd birthday. It's a pretty incredible way to do it. That's when the floodgates just completely opened. Mahomes threw another interception just a few plays later. Hurts found A.J. Brown for a 12-yard touchdown, and in the blink of an eye, the score was 24-0 Eagles heading into halftime. To kick off the second half, Eagles kicker Jake Elliott drove in another field goal, followed by Jalen Hurts unleashing a perfect 46-yard touchdown strike to Devontae Smith. Just like that, the Eagles had a whopping 34-0 lead. Towards the end of the third quarter, Mahomes finally got the Chiefs on the board after a 24-yard pass to Xavier Worthy. Mahomes would throw 2 more touchdowns to make the score seem respectable, but it was too little, too late. The Eagles defeated the Chiefs and prevented the three-peat in dominant fashion, pulling out a 40-22 win and hoisted the Lombardi Trophy with a smile. Jalen Hurts won MVP honors after he threw for 221 yards and a touchdown and ran for 72 yards and a score. But, in my opinion, the Eagles' defense is what won them this game. They corralled Mahomes all game long, sacking him 6 times, picking him off twice, and forcing 1 fumble. Travis Kelce was also held in check, racking up just 39 yards receiving. Mahomes finished his 5th Super Bowl appearance going 21 for 32 for 257 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. While the 3 TD stat line does look nice, Mahomes didn't throw his first score until the Eagles were up 34-0 in the third quarter. With the Eagles' win, the Green Bay Packers are still the only NFL team to win 3 championships in a row. The NFL season is officially over, but the news never stops coming. Earlier this week, it was announced that following his Super Bowl win, Eagles offensive coordinator Kellen Moore has accepted the job to become the next head coach of the New Orleans Saints. The Eagles averaged 27.2 points in the regular season, which was 7th in the NFL, and 36.3 points in the postseason, which was the most in the NFL, behind Kellen Moore's offense. Coaches aren't the only ones moving around. Already, some major names have expressed interest in trades and changes of scenery. Players like Cooper Kupp, Deebo Samuel, Myles Garrett, Aaron Rodgers, Max Crosby, Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins, Jameis Winston, Derek Carr, T. Higgins, and so many more have already had their names circulating the trade rumor mill. It doesn't necessarily mean these trades will go through or that the players won't re-sign with their current teams, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on post-Super Bowl. Here's a fun fact for you. Since the Chiefs did not get the job done on Sunday, the Los Angeles Lakers from 2000 to 2002, led by Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal, are the last team in all of the major American professional leagues to win 3 straight titles. And now, a new duo is leading the Lakers, Luka Doncic and LeBron James. We got our first glimpse of James and Doncic sharing the court on Monday night against the Utah Jazz. And it was a spectacle. Playing just 24 minutes, Doncic dropped 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists, while helping the Lakers to a dominant 132-113 win. He took a second to shake off the rust, but quickly looked like his old normal self. James tacked on 24 points, 7 rebounds, and 8 assists as the Lakers superstars rested for most of the fourth quarter. It seems like it's going to be a whole lot of fun to watch LA this season, as they have now won 6 straight games and 12 out of their last 15 games. The Lakers' other trade, the one that sent Dalton Knecht and Cam Reddish to Charlotte in exchange for Mark Williams, has been rescinded in a strange turn of events. Los Angeles said Saturday they rescinded the deal, quote, due to failure to satisfy a condition of the trade, end quote. Williams reportedly failed the required physical exam by the Lakers to complete the trade, according to ESPN. Williams' exam revealed multiple issues that forced the Lakers to back out of the trade, which will return the players to their original teams. It made for a somewhat awkward moment on Monday when Connect returned to the Lakers bench a few hours after having to fly back to LA. He made his return to the court on Wednesday. Allegedly, the Charlotte Hornets have been in contact with the NBA as they explore options to dispute the Lakers' failed physical assessment of Williams, and when more comes out, I'll be sure to share. Moving over to the ice, instead of having an all-star game this season, the NHL and NHLPA are staging the Four Nations Face-Off, which will run from February 12th through February 20th. This is a round-robin tournament that will feature 4 national teams, Canada, Finland, Sweden, and the United States, with NHL players from those nations filling the rosters. The action began on Wednesday with Canada and Sweden facing off in the first game, followed by the United States and Finland squaring off last night. It was an absolutely electric start to the tournament. On Wednesday, Canada headed into the final period with a 3-1 lead, but Adrian Kempe and Joel Eriksson tacked on 2 for Team Sweden, tying the game at 3-3. In overtime, Sidney Crosby dealt out his 3rd assist of the night, this time to Mitch Marner, and Team Canada earned the first win of the tournament, 4-3. Crosby was named the star of the game for his performance. Tomorrow, the games will continue with Finland versus Sweden and the U.S. taking on Canada on ABC. The Americans have an incredibly well-rounded roster and have a chance to win the tournament, but with players like Connor McDavid, Cale Makar, Nathan MacKinnon, Sidney Crosby, and more, Team Canada will be a tough team to beat. The 2025 PGA Tour is off and running, and we are 6 tournaments down. So far, there have been 6 different winners through the 6 events, with Thomas Detry winning the most recent tournament, the Waste Management Open in Scottsdale, Arizona, this past weekend. Next up, this weekend, we have the Genesis Invitational at Torrey Pines in La Jolla. It should come as a surprise to absolutely no one that Scottie Scheffler is currently the top-ranked golfer in the world again. Lastly, while MLB spring training is just around the corner, some major free agent moves are still making headlines. Earlier this week, Alex Bregman, who has been a Houston Astros infielder since 2016, has a new home after agreeing to a 3-year, $120 million deal with the Boston Red Sox on Wednesday night. Bregman, being the biggest remaining free agent, had received interest from several teams like the Detroit Tigers, Toronto Blue Jays, and Chicago Cubs. Bregman, who will turn 31 in March, finished the season with a .260 batting average, 26 home runs, and 75 RBIs in 145 games. Houston lost back-to-back AL Wildcard Series games to the Tigers this past postseason. Enjoy as much basketball, golf, hockey, and more as you can this weekend, and be sure to come right back next Friday for more news, updates, and highlights. Again, I want to thank you for riding along with me over the last 3 years of Sports Corner. It's been a fun journey, and I look forward to doing this show every week. With that said, I'm Cole Young. Have a great President's Day weekend. I'll see you next time.